fascinating Asian land, home of some of the most influential civilizations in human history. Nowadays, this multicultural country, the most populated in the planet, offers a unique blend of majestic historical beauty, unparalleled artistic handcrafts, noisy and chaotic moments, kind and fun people, diverse religious coexistence, exquisite cuisine, and mystical moments hard to describe with words. Recently, we spent 15 days exploring some of the best Indian destinations. We started our trip in Delhi, the capital of India, but we have chosen Agra in the state of Uttar Pradesh as the first city to show you. This northern Indian metropolis was once the capital of the mighty Mughal Empire, and their extraordinary monuments keep attracting millions of visitors today. For Rain and Chano, subscribe to our channel to join us in our 6-part travel series of India. In this first episode, we will share with you our whole itinerary and travel tips to experience a perfect trip to Agra and, of course, its sublime Taj Mahal.
Welcome to India!
Although there are public buses and trains from Delhi, the most convenient way to reach Agra is to use a taxi. So we hired a private driver with our hotel there. We departed at 6 a.m. in order to avoid bad traffic. Our driver was quite focused on the road and we slept for most of the ride. After almost 4 hours with a 30 minutes stop to rest included, we arrived in Agra. The traffic wasn't as crazy as in Delhi, but they also love honking their vehicles here. We chose the Joey's Hostel Agra for its great value for money and for its proximity to the Taj Mahal. While we were waiting for our room to be ready, we went to the hostel rooftop cafe to eat a simple breakfast. And at last, we had a first look of the Taj Mahal. Even from afar, its presence was starting to amaze us. Soon later, we were allowed to do an early check-in and we got into our nice room. We have already finished checking in and we are surprised that considering this is a hostel, our room is really good. It's clean and it will serve its purpose. We're just gonna be sleeping here.
But before we go, it's really important that you know all the things that you shouldn't bring inside the monument. There is a locker room there where you can leave stuff, but we want to save time, so we are already prepared. We just got our cameras, we got the DJI action camera, and then we bought this to put here our passports, the tickets that we bought in advance, and also we put inside some money and the credit card. There are so many things that you cannot bring, included tripods, selfie sticks, power banks, food, so be sure that you read all the indications before.
Now we are ready to visit the Taj Mahal. We walked for only 5 minutes from our hostel to the eastern gate of the Taj Mahal.
You should buy a horn.
This gate is much better to enter the site if you come by foot, as the western gate is next to the main parking, and therefore the buses and van tours draw bigger crowds there. Once at the gate, we politely refused the guides offering their services and simply followed the signs for our specific ticket category. Men and women have separate security checks. It was around 1 p.m. on a Monday and surprisingly, we found no queue at all. Once inside, we walked next to some interesting old pictures of the Taj Mahal. Few meters ahead, we started seeing the monumental main gate of the complex. From this huge forecourt, we can barely see the Taj Mahal through the gateway. But before we rushed to cross inside, we took our time to enjoy this beautifully ornamented red sandstone entrance. Anywhere else, this would surely be a monument worth visiting on its own. slowly, with every step we took, the bright silhouette of the Taj Mahal became bigger and bigger. And finally, this wonder of the world appeared completely in front of us. We had goosebumps and tears of joy. Approaching the Taj Mahal felt like a dream. The mausoleum that Shah Jahan, the fifth Mughal emperor of Hindustan, built for his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal is undoubtedly one of the most beautiful tombs in human history. We had never seen a construction similar to this. With the afternoon sun illuminating its ivory white marble, the Taj Mahal seemed to be floating in the air. The symmetry of the whole site, the charm of its gardens, the serenity of its fountains, the fine inlay work of the facades, the balance of the other buildings around, everything connecting in perfect harmony. This is a mausoleum that will be forever remembered as a symbol to eternal love, but also an emblem of India's history and one of the most wonderful representations of Indo-Islamic and Mughal architecture. When the Empress consort passed away in 1631, during the birth of their 14th child, Shah Jahan immediately ordered to create this masterpiece to honor the memory of his favorite queen, and he spared no expense to achieve this goal. More than 20 years later, in 1653, the marvelous Taj Mahal complex was completed. In 1658, Aurangzeb deposed his father, and when Shah Jahan died 6 years later, he buried him next to Mumtaz Mahal, breaking the perfect symmetry of the interior. Today, this UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is open every day from sunrise to sunset, except on Fridays, attracts around 5 million visitors per year. Although it is not allowed to film or take pictures inside the mausoleum, it is totally worth to pay the extra 200 rupees to access and see the upper tombs with your own eyes. It is also an excellent way to get a closer look at the carvings and precious stones of the walls. Plus, you can understand even better the enormous size of the building.
It was just my dream to see the Taj Mahal, and now I'm touching it. It's even more beautiful and extraordinary in person. Chana promised that he will build me a
better one. I will finish the black one that I didn't have time to.
Visiting the Taj Mahal for the first time in the afternoon was a perfect idea, and we were so excited to return again for sunrise the next day. For many years, Chanu had dreamt to photograph the Taj Mahal from the Yamuna River. He researched online and learned that there is only one local boatman who is allowed to offer this experience. Sadly, our hostel staff told us that in the last week, he wasn't allowed to do sunset tours. Despite this, my husband is not the kind of person that will easily give up, so we headed to the pier nevertheless. Once we were there, not seeing the boatman around, Chanu asked some local men, and one of them kindly called the boatman's phone. Luckily, we were able to book a sunrise boat tour for 2 days later. Located in the highest floor on top of our hostel, we chose the Tia Taj View Cafe for our dinner. This rooftop restaurant has a great perspective over the Taj Mahal and the surrounding streets. But also, their cuisine has excellent online reviews, and we must say that their food quickly convinced us to return again the next day. I'm going to try a pizza with Indian spices.
We also have chicken biryani. It's not spicy. So far, all the foods that we have tried are really, really good and affordable as well.
And to end our delicious dinner, we ordered this dessert called Hello to the Queen. It has brownie, ice cream, banana, cashew nuts, and brownie bits. I will taste it now. Hello to the Queen. Now it's goodbye to the Queen.
The next day, we reached the Taj Mahal Eastern Gate at 5:15, and there were already 20 people waiting in front of us. Few minutes later, the queue behind us was getting longer and longer. When the gate was about to open at 6 a.m., the local people queues were also extremely full. We had scouted the best spots the day before, so we headed quickly to the west side of the mausoleum, and we were able to capture some dream shots before the crowds arrived. I felt like a princess wearing the dress that I ordered from one of my friendly Indian colleagues at the hospital where I work as a nurse. Although you will never be totally alone in this site, with patience, there are chances to capture timeless moments with your camera. Witnessing the dawn colors over the Taj Mahal is truly another must experience if you are in Agra. It was so magical to see the sun slowly rising next to the monument. Unfortunately, the mosque next to the Taj Mahal has been closed in recent months. Hopefully, they will open it again in the future because its arches are excellent to frame the monument and create special compositions. Before leaving, we walked to the opposite side to contemplate the eastern facade of the building, illuminated by the morning sun. Although not so beautifully ornamented as the mosque on the other side, the Mehman Khana or Taj Mahal guest house offers a chance to use its arches as frames too. We will forever remember our first visits to the Taj Mahal.
Bye-bye, Taj Mahal. It's really one of the most incredible monuments in the whole world. Totally worth to come in the afternoon
And in the morning. Now it's almost 9 o'clock, so it's time to go back to our hotel and eat our breakfast.
We returned to the Chia Taj View Cafe to enjoy breakfast with the best background. We ordered a lot of tasty foods because we were going to visit other monuments during the day and we were not going to have time for lunch. Their coffee was one of the best we tried in India.
We are here in Chia Cafe, on top of our hostel. He's the manager of the place, really friendly staff. If you're here in Agra, be sure that you come. Okay? Thank you. See you. What's your name? Sanjeev.
Sanjeev.
Okay, look for Sanjeev.
Thank you so much.
We booked a private auto-rickshaw tour with our hostel for the full day, from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. Chano had designed our daily itinerary in advance, and our driver agreed to wait for us outside of every site for as long as we needed.
I hope we arrive there alive.
In one piece.
Auto-rickshaws are a very popular vehicle in India. They are very useful for short distances and they can be quicker than cars in situations of heavy congestion. You can have a more authentic local experience if you ride them. And also have some fun, as India has one of the most chaotic traffic in the world. We highly recommend to use a mask in order to reduce the inhalation of the high pollution levels from other vehicles. In 15 minutes, we reached the Agra Fort booking counter. After purchasing our tickets, we approach its imposing red walls and towers. And then we crossed in awe the main gates that were once built to completely seal its interior when needed. The Agra Fort still stands as a symbol of the Mughal dynasty historic power. In 1526, the fort was conquered by Babur, the founder of the Mughal Empire. And 4 years later, when he died, his son Humayun was crowned as the second Mughal emperor in between these walls. In 1556, Akbar the Great, the young new emperor and son of Humayun, understanding the important position of the city of Agra in those turbulent years, decided to transform it into the glorious capital of its empire. Akbar ordered to rebuild the brick Agra Fort with red sandstone instead, employing around 4,000 builders who completed the works in 1573. His grandson, the famous Shah Jahan, not only built the Taj Mahal but also gave the Agra Fort its current state and added a lot of white marble to the complex. Tragically, when he was deposed in 1658, he was imprisoned by his son in a restricted area of the fort. Since then, and until his death 8 years later, he could only see the tomb of his beloved wife in the far distance. Other rulers and empires took control over the Agra Fort in the following centuries, and many of its buildings were destroyed by the British troops of the East India Company in the 19th century. The remaining palaces and historical architecture inside this UNESCO World Heritage Site make a visit to this fortification completely worth it.
How do you know a Filipino without telling you're a Filipino? Using an umbrella under the sun.
Stereotypes here.
I can't hold it anymore. It's too hot for me.
We jumped into the auto-rickshaw again and rode for 15 minutes more to the next location of our itinerary. You can be sure that we didn't get bored while traveling from place to place in Agra.
So peaceful to be here.
Horses, motorbikes, bicycles, and many more means of transport sharing the same space kept making us think how on earth the traffic works here. But we always reached every destination safe and sound. The tomb of Ihmad-ud-Dawla, popularly known as the Baby Taj, is a site where you won't see many visitors. This Mughal mausoleum was commissioned by Nur Jahan, the wife and chief consort of the Emperor Jahangir, for her father and relatives. Its construction started in 1622 and it was finished in 1628. Surprisingly, this fine monument, often described as the jewel box, doesn't attract the attention that it deserves. Many people rush their visit to the city, visiting only the Taj Mahal and the Agra Fort. But monuments like the Baby Taj prove that more time should be spent here if possible. We absolutely loved the intricate details of the walls with its pietra dura inlay, and also the well-preserved decoration inside the mausoleum. Also called as the Draft of the Taj Mahal, this tomb represents perfectly the transition from the first to the second phase of Mughal architecture, from red sandstone to white marble as main material. Less than 10 minutes in the auto-rickshaw and we reach the last destination of our day tour. Mehtab Bagh is a quiet green lawn away from the hustle and bustle of the Agra streets. These historic gardens are located facing the north facade of the Taj Mahal, in the opposite side of the Yamuna River, so they offer breathtaking views over the monument. The now empty pool in the center of the Mehtab Bagh is believed to be the origin of the Black Taj Mahal myth. This legendary black marble mausoleum was said that it would have been the next dream project of Shah Jahan, to rest forever in front of his wife's white tomb. Apparently, the 17th century French traveler Jean-Baptiste Tavernier was the first who wrote about it and suggested that Aurangzeb imprisoned his father before it was built. However, in 2006, some archaeologists proved that the dark reflection of the Taj Mahal in the perfectly positioned pool could be the reason of the legend, especially considering how obsessed Shah Jahan was with symmetry. True or not, the panorama from these gardens was perfect to take unforgettable shots. And talking about capturing moments, we haven't told you yet that Indian people love taking pictures with foreigners. You can politely refuse if you're not comfortable with it. Especially in the historic sites, many locals were often asking us to pose in their pictures. For us, it's a cute way to meet the locals. Just few meters ahead of the garden's entrance, there is another viewpoint that is cheaper and has a perfectly centered perspective of the Taj Mahal. We advise to visit both at sunset if you have time. In recent years, the Yamuna River volume has been reduced, so maybe don't expect to capture a reflection of the mausoleum on its waters from these places. However, you can enjoy watching birds dancing on the air with the monument in the background. After sunset, we returned to our favorite restaurant in Agra. We ordered more of their delicious foods.
So we've finished the whole itinerary for today, and we're very happy with all the beautiful places that we've seen. Now we are back in the same cafe. This is our third time of eating a meal here. The food is really good, it's affordable, staffs here are very friendly. And this morning we met the manager, and he said the next time that we will come here, he will treat us with a tea. But when we arrived here, he actually forgot it. But one of the waiters, he remembered it. So now we have the free tea. You can taste the spice. I don't know what kind of spice. I think it's ginger. I love it.
Wow, it's really good. I love it. And please, chai means tea. Never say chai tea.
Wow, you're an expert now.
Don't say naan bread, I know.
When we finished our dinner, I had a lot of fun dancing with all the friendly staff of the restaurant. I was tired after the long day, but how could I say no to my first real-life Bollywood experience to end our second night in Agra? The next morning, we returned to the river to finally do the boat tour. Our appointment was at 7 a.m., but the boatman wasn't there on time. A friendly young local told us that he was coming for sure, so we kept waiting. And around 7:45, Manoj, the boatman, was finally there.
Morning.
We quickly agreed the price with him, and our 15 minutes boat ride was finally happening.
We just finished the boat ride and it was like a dream. It's a very magical experience.
It was wow. I'm still trying to process.
He's speechless.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. There was like a little bit of mist in the river as well. Totally worth it.
He made me wear the lehenga
Beautiful dress.
in the boat.
Let's go to have breakfast.
Let's go. We are back in the same cafe again for the fourth time. And we're gonna eat our breakfast here. The manager gave us complimentary tea because he said we made his staff happy by dancing with them last night. So tonight we will come back here again for dinner and Chano has to dance with them.
That's not gonna happen.
Promised.
No, I didn't.
One of the reasons why we also kept going to this cafe, aside from they serve good food, is the place is clean and we never had any tummy problems after eating here. For our last day in Agra, we booked with our hostel a transfer to Fatehpur Sikri. We departed at 10 a.m. and the journey was around 1 hour long. We didn't include a guide in our services, so as soon as we arrived at the main parking area, there were several people constantly approaching us to sell their services in a very pushy way. You can do the visit on your own, no matter what they tell you. You can take the public bus or golf cars for only 30 rupees to reach the main gate. We advise to avoid walking from here, as it could be more than 30 minutes to reach the main gate under the sun. Even in the golf car, we noticed locals trying to sell their services to the tourists. We understand that people need to make a living and we are usually patient and respectful when we refuse. But here, we felt that they wouldn't take several no, and they kept insisting even inside the monuments.
No, thank you.
Most of our interactions with Indian locals were wonderful during our trip. So, if you want to hire local guides, contact your hotel or the official ticket counters and agree a price in advance. Many years ago, when Chana learned about the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Fatehpur Sikri, he dreamed to visit it one day. When we stepped into the monumental complex, I totally understood why he was so convinced to include this in our itinerary. Fatehpur Sikri was founded by the Mughal Emperor Akbar the Great in 1571. He built a new magnificent capital of its empire in the place where the small, calm village of Sikri was previously located. Akbar chose this place after his son Jahangir was born here in 1569, a birth predicted and blessed by the local Sheikh Salim Christie. The emperor ordered to quickly build a walled city and an imperial palace for its new capital, a blend of Muslim and Hindu architecture influenced by the Timurid style. This should be a symbol of spiritual grandeur that brought him legitimacy thanks to the affiliation with the popular Sheikh and its Sufi order. Akbar was a Muslim who moved away from orthodoxy and adopted more liberal policies than other Mughal emperors. He loved reading and was a patron of the arts. He aimed for bigger religious tolerance and greater harmony between Hindus and Muslims. From 1575, he started to promote interactions between different religious leaders, inviting Muslims, Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, Jews and Christians, and even atheists to discuss in his meeting house in Fatehpur Sikri about life, religion, and philosophical matters. Sadly, the aggressive bitterness between some of the guests brought Akbar to end the debates in 1582, as his purpose of better understanding wasn't occurring at all. In 1585, just 14 years after his foundation, the campaigns of Akbar in Punjab made him change his capital from Fatehpur Sikri to Lahore and then back to Agra. Meanwhile, this luxurious red sandstone city started its decline, and soon the problems with its water supply condemned it to its total abandonment in 1610. Before returning to Agra, we left the monumental complex through the gate close to Jama Masjid, the great congregational mosque that Akbar also built here. The entrance is completely free, and you need to remove your shoes to access. We advise you to bring bags to carry your shoes, as some people were asking money to watch them outside. The mosque courtyard is really huge, and you will notice two buildings with tombs in the middle. The white one is where Salim Christie was buried. We didn't have much time left, so we took a quick look around the most beautiful areas of the mosque. Don't forget to take a look from the other side of the south gate of the mosque. Known as Buland Darwaza, this 54 meters high enormous gate was built like a victory arch to commemorate the success of Akbar in its Gujarat campaign. We returned to the parking using the same ticket that we bought in the morning. That ends our first episode of our India travel series. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to our channel to support us and to follow our adventures. Don't miss our next episodes because we will show you more breathtaking and wonderful places in India. Next stop, Jaipur, also known as the Pink City. Thank you so much for joining us. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, keep exploring, rain or shine.